In this session, we will discuss about DOS and DDoS attack. DOS is an attack used to deny legitimate user access to a resource such as accessing a website, network, email, etc., or making it extremely slow. DOS is the short form of denial of service. This type of attack is usually implemented by hitting the target resource such as a web server with too many requests at the same time. This results in the server failing to respond to all the requests. The effect of this can either be crashing the server or slowing them down. Now DDoS attack, a distributed denial of service attack, is an attempt to make an online service or a website unavailable by overloading it with huge flood of traffic generated from multiple sources. Unlike a denial of service or DOS attack, in which one computer and one internet connection is used to flood a targeted resource with packets, a DDoS attack uses many computers and many internet connections, often distributed globally in what is referred to as a botnet. A large-scale volumetric DDoS attack can generate a traffic measured in tens of gigabits per second. We are sure your normal network will not be able to handle such traffic. Now the question is that what is botnet? Attackers build a network of hacked machines which are known as botnets by spreading malicious piece of code through emails, website and social media. Once these computers are infected, they can be controlled remotely without their owner's knowledge and used like an army to launch an attack against any target. A DDoS flood can be generated in multiple ways, like botnet can be used for sending more numbers of connection requests than a server can handle at a time. Attackers can have computers send a victim resource huge amount of random data to use up the target's bandwidth. Due to the distributed nature of these machines, they can be used to generate distributed high traffic which may be difficult to handle. It finally results in a complete blockage of a service. Now, there are different types of DDoS attack are there. DDoS attack can be broadly categorized into three categories. Number one, volume-based attack. Number two, protocol-based attack. And number three, application layer attack. Volume-based attack include TCP flood, UDP flood, ICMP flood, and other spoofed packet floods. These are also called layer 3 and 4 attacks. Here an attacker tries to saturate the bandwidth of the target site. The attack magnitude is measured in bits per second. Volume-based attack. Volume-based attack include TCP flood, UTP flood, ICMP floods, and other spoof packet floods. These are also called layer 3 and 4 attacks. Here an attacker tries to saturate the bandwidth of the target site. The attack magnitude is measured in bits per second. UDP flood. A UDP flood is used to flood a random ports on a remote host with numerous UDP packets, more specifically port number 53. Specialized firewalls can be used to filter out or block malicious UDP packets. ICMP flood. This is similar to UDP flood and used to flood a remote host with numerous ICMP echo requests. This type of attack can consume both outgoing and incoming bandwidth, and a high volume of ping requests will result in overall system slowdown. HTTP flood. The attacker sends HTTP GET and POST request to a targeted web server in a large volume which cannot be handled by the server and leads to denial of additional connection from legitimate clients. Amplification attack: the attacker make a request that generate a large response which include DNS request for large TXT record and HTTP GET request for large file like images, PDFs or any other data file. Next is protocol attacks. Protocol attacks include SYN flood, ping of death, fragmented packet attacks, smurf, DDoS, etc. This type of attack consume actual server resources and other resources like firewall and load balancers. The attack magnitude is measured in packets per second. There are different types of protocol attack are there, like DNS flood. DNS flood are used to attack both the infrastructure and the DNS application to overwhelm a target system and consume all its available network bandwidth. SYN flood: the attacker sends TCP connection requests faster than the targeted machine can process them, causing network saturation. Administrator can tweak TCP stacks to mitigate the effect of SYN floods. To reduce the effect of SYN floods, you can reduce the timeout until a stack frees memory allocated to a connection, or selectively dropping incoming connections using a firewall or IP tables. Ping of death: the attacker sends malformed or oversized packets using a simple ping command. IP allows sending 65,535 bytes packets, but sending a ping packet larger than 65,535 bytes violates the Internet Protocol and could cause memory overflow of the target system and finally crash the system. To avoid ping-of-death attacks and its variants, many sites block ICMP ping message altogether at their firewalls. Next is application layer attack. Application layer attack includes slow loading, zero-day DDoS attack that target Apache, Windows, or OpenBSD vulnerabilities, and more. Here the goal is to crash the web server. The attack magnitude is measured in requests per second. Now different type of application layer attack are there, like application attack. This is also called layer 7 attack, where the attacker makes excessive login, database lookup or search requests to overload the application. It is really difficult to detect layer 7 attacks because they reassemble legitimate website traffic. Slow loading: the attacker sends huge number of HTTP headers to a targeted web server but never complete a request. The targeted server keeps each of these false connections open and eventually overflows the maximum concurrent connection pool and leads to denial of additional connection from legitimate clients. NTP amplification: the attacker exploits publicly accessible network time protocol (NTP) services to overwhelm the targeted server with user datagram protocol (UDP) traffic. Zero-day DDoS attack: a zero-day vulnerability is a system or application flaw previously unknown to the vendor and has not been fixed or patched. These are new type of attacks coming into existence day by day. For example, exploiting vulnerabilities for which no patch has yet been released. Now, how to fix a DDoS attack? There are quite a few DDoS protection options which you can apply depending on the type of DDoS attack. Your DDoS protection starts from identifying and closing all the possible operating system and application level vulnerabilities in your system. closing all the possible ports, removing unnecessary access from the system, and hiding your server behind a proxy or CDN system. If you see a low magnitude of the DDoS, then you can find many firewall-based solutions which can help you in filtering out DDoS-based traffic. But if you have high volume of DDoS attack, like in gigabits or even more, then you should take the help of a DDoS protection service provider that offer a more holistic and proactive, genuine approach. You must be careful while approaching and selecting a DDoS protection service provider. These are number of service provider who want to take advantage of your situation. If you inform them that you are under DDoS attack, then they will start offering you a variety of services at unreasonably high cost. We can suggest you a simple and working solution which start with a search for a good DNS solution provider who is flexible enough to configure A and CNAME records for your website. Second, you will need a good CDN provider that can handle peak DDoS traffic and provide you DDoS protection services as a part of their CDN package. Thank you. In this session, I will show you how to perform a DOS attack using slow loading script. Suppose our target web application is running on 192.168.0.104. Okay, see, some web application is running on that particular server 192.168.0.104. Now we need to check that particular server slow loading vulnerability is present or not. So to find out that vulnerability, we use our best tool Nmap. So Nmap, then I'm putting the timing option T4 and then use the script http dash slow loading dash check, then the IP address. Let's wait for the result. Okay, we got the result. And it's showing HTTP slow loading check is vulnerable. So we can perform the slow loading attack. So to attack in that particular IP address, we need to use the slow loading script. Now you can easily download slow loading script from internet. Now I will show you how you can download slow loading script. So here is the Slowloady script. To download this script, you can copy the URL and go to terminal, use the command git clone and then the URL. So I already download the script slowloadish.pl. So that's why it's showing it's already exists. So now it's downloaded, and go to your file system and you can check slowloadish.pl is there. Now open terminal from that particular directory and perform the DDoS attack using slowloadish script. So this is a Perl script. So to run a Perl script, first we need to use the command Perl, then the script name, it's slowloadish.pl. Then you need to use -dns to specify the domain name or IP address. Now Slowloadish script is running and it sent 494 packets successfully. This thread now sleeping for 100 seconds. And Slowloadish now sent 1272 packets successfully. So this way it sent a huge number of packets to the target web application. Now check your web application is accessible or not. Now see, this web application is not accessible. So this way, by using the Slowloadish script successfully, we can perform the DOS or DDoS attack. Thank you.